What is happening, you guys? Welcome back to the Let's Go Win podcast. You are here for a Tuesday tune-up. I'm J.M. Ryerson, and we're talking about Let's Go Win at Growth. And for those of you that aren't familiar, growth mindset is 100% my favorite thing in probably this whole world, because I look at it and there's so much to learn. There's so many things we can get better at. The world is such a big, vast place. And so when I say growth on a daily basis, it's really just a philosophy. What is your philosophy to get better every single day? And I've written about it before, about getting 1% better every single day. That didn't really make sense to me, but I do understand the concept. If I just work to get better today, regardless of what happened, it puts you in this constant wanting to get better, seeking out more interesting things, opportunities get created. You don't know it all. And it's just this overall philosophy. So I'm curious, what you guys are doing in terms of growth. And I'll share obviously what I do, but it's just such a philosophy that has impacted my life in such a great way, no matter what's happening. It could be the best day in the world. I'm going to continue to try and get better. It could be the worst day in the world. That's really the times that I'm trying to get better. So I'm not stuck in this woe is me, but rather I'm trying to work at growing, at getting better. And so one of the things that I talk about is, how do you know that you're not in this position of really trying to get better, that you're not living your best life? And the first one is, if you constantly are negative and if you're complaining a lot, if you notice that your negativity is spiking, that's a time when it's really time to look in the mirror and say, what can I do to grow myself? Is it listening to a podcast? Is it reading a book? Is it reaching out to a friend? Is it finding a new hobby? There's no right or wrong answer to figuring this out, but it is a matter of seeking something else out, something that is going to make you a better person, is going to help you grow in that moment. Because if you're stuck in that negativity, you need something to kind of push you out of that. And often it's just changing some little habit or routine, or again, we get stuck in these comfort zones where if it's the same repetitive pattern, we need a pattern interrupt. In that book, the podcast, the human being, the experience, something can break you out of that, but typically you need something to pattern interrupt. So if you're going through that, if you're being negative, let's look for something to grow on. Because one thing about human beings is we love to be challenged, and we absolutely love learning new things. It's the way we are wired. We are hardwired that way. So the second thing to look at, if you're really looking to grow, is, who are you surrounding yourself with? At some point I remember saying, this is my circle of friends. This is like my crew. And I not that I shut the rest of the world out, but I wasn't going to open it up to many more people. And that was so foolish, because I'm 44 years old today. I plan on living at least another 44 years, if not more. To ever stop yourself at 10 years old, 20 years old, 30, 40, at any point, if you have said, this is my circle and I'm not welcoming that in, you're losing. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, because what if somebody wonderful is there to be a friend? What if somebody is wonderful to help in your business? There's so many amazing human beings. If you think about it, there's over 7 billion people. So if you look at how many people you know in your inner circle, I don't know, 100, 1,000, let's say it's 10,000. Let's say you know that many people. And I'm not talking about Instagram followers like, The Rock has like 185 million followers. Okay, those are followers. Those aren't his inner circle. But I'm talking about, like, who's in your inner circle, and are you willing to open that up? Are you willing to surround yourself with people that stretch you, that help you grow? They challenge you, they push you, because often that comfort when we are at that moment that I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable, that's the moment that you start decaying. Because I do believe we as human beings, we are raising ourselves, we are either growing or we're decaying. And there is no in between. You don't just sit at the stagnant level. If you feel like you're stagnant, you are more than likely decaying. So often when you inject someone new, somebody with a different perspective, that's going to help you grow. It's going to push you outside of your comfort zone and your boundaries. And the last thing I want you to look at, and this is especially true when it comes to being comfortable in your routine, or I have always done it this way, therefore, and that's taking care of your mind and your body. So let's talk about the body for a second. How often do you look at growing and getting better at your own diet? Or how often do you just simply follow the same routine that you've done for 10 years, 20 years, and you say, I do this because that's the way it's always been? Look, the world changes all the time. There are things that are helping us get better. And oftentimes, some of the new food, maybe you have to go back to, just pure vegetables, or I don't know, something that is outside of your normal routine. So if you go and you get the same ham sandwich at a deli every single day, maybe we change it up a little bit. We look to grow that and say, could I, instead of having the bread, maybe I do a lettuce wrap, which is a terrible example because I don't like lettuce wraps. But let's just say I'm going to change it up by, instead of using mayonnaise, I'm going to put hummus on my sandwich. Things that can help you grow and get better. What are you doing to challenge yourself? So I think the overall theme of this podcast is, if you feel comfortable, if you feel like I just do it this way because that's the way it's always been done, it's time to stretch yourself. It's time to challenge yourself. It's time to get better. So I really hope when you're done listening to this podcast, if nothing else, you ask yourself on a daily basis, what am I doing to get better every single day? How am I growing myself every single day? Because if you believe what I say, you're either growing or you're decaying. I won't say dying, but you're not improving. You're literally going backwards. And I think there's just so much of this world to explore. There's so many amazing things for us to do and be challenged with. And I want everybody to embrace that feeling, because, picking up that new hobby, getting better at something that you weren't that good at, that is the epitome of a growth mindset. And it really is such a fulfilling way to go through life. So anyway, I'm obsessed with getting better and growing. I would love to hear how you guys are getting better every single day. So please let us know at Let's Go Win 365, any of the social media platforms, or info@letsgowin.com. And please share this with your friends, your family. I want to continue to get our ratings and our subscribers up. I do have a goal of 2,500 ratings, and only you guys can help by doing that. So I'd ask for a 5-star rating if that's the value you saw from it. But if you didn't, that's okay. A rating nonetheless is helpful, and I appreciate you guys. So remember, your mindset matters. Keep growing every single day, and we will talk to you next time. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.